Hello, my name is Ilea, also known as the New Soups, and this is everything I made in 2025. I don't have a cool intro, so that's just how the video is. Okay, 2025. This was really my first year of knitting. I have known how to knit for a long time, but this is really my first year that I put any serious effort into it. Previously I've made a handful of socks, a few socks. When I was a kid, I made a bunch of tiny little baby socks that I don't think any babies ever wore. But I've known the concepts of knitting for a long time, but never ventured outside the world of socks. So this is my first year of knitting for real. And I have notes. I brought notes to this. I'm prepared, sort of. I've never made one of these videos before, so we're just going to see how it goes. Okay. So, I looked through all of my pictures from this year or from last year, I guess, and I don't know that I really did any projects until we got into March. From my pictures it looks like I didn't make anything in January and February. So, I guess I'm going to start with what I made in February. I'm sorry. I guess I'm going to start with what I made in March, my first thing that I made in March of 2025. Look at, I've got them all behind me. They're all behind me over there. So, the first the first thing I made in 2025 that I have a record of is not knit, it's crochet. This was one of the last crochet projects that I did. These are the Dipped Lolly slippers by Lee Satori. I think this is a free pattern. I knit this with Lion Brand Wool Ease in Blush Heather and Dark Rose Heather. Um, Here, I've talked about this before in some of my videos, but I have this thing where I think that sometimes I'm smarter than the pattern, and this was one of those situations where I thought I was smarter than the pattern. Maybe you'll see on this one that it's got this seam down the middle, and I thought, hideous. I'm gonna fix that. And I did fix it on this slipper. You can't really see it. It looks pretty good. Um, this slipper, the one where you can't see the seam, you can feel that ridge every time you take a step. And on this one, you can't. So I was not smarter than the pattern. I was not smarter than the pattern. That's how I started my year out. That's okay. Gotta be humbled. Second project of the year was a knit. These are the World's Simplest Mittens by Tin Can Knits. I've never made mittens before, I don't think. I got a lot of use out of these this year. I love them. This is a wool and acrylic blend, 55% merino wool and 45% acrylic. So it's nice and warm. Um, I got a good experience with hand washing stuff when I had these because I think it would felt if I washed them, if you threw it in the washing machine. Um, so they're fun, they're cute, they're warm. I did a really poor job of like the Kitchener clothes on the fingers and the thumbs look kind of rough. I also learned, I don't know if you can see, but the increases around my thumb left big gaps, and that's because I was increasing wrong, which I know now. I know now, and I know how to be better for next time. So that's a win. A win is a win. But I love these. I wear these all the time. I finished these in March, so I got a little bit of wear out of them in the spring. And now I put them in my coat pocket, and I have them whenever I go on a walk. So I love them. I think these are great. In May, I knit my very first shirt, my very first garment. Is a garment just a shirt, or do mittens count as garments? I don't know. This is the 1993 tee by Jessie Mae Designs. I was terrified going into this project. I had a lot of encouragement from my friends, so thank you. This is in Lion Brand 24/7 cotton in charcoal and bay leaf, probably part of a panic buy as Joann was going out of business. This is how it looks. I'll do a little spin. Let me give you a little. I really like this. It's very comfortable. It fits me really well. This was also when I was terrified that it wouldn't fit. Like I almost frogged it once I got to the sleeves here, because I was positive it would not fit. I was sure. And I was already planning like, okay, who can I give this to that will appreciate it? That I made this shirt that doesn't fit me. But it does. It's fine. I think the cotton stretched out a little bit as, it was just worn and whatever, but really I didn't have to worry about it. It's pretty much a perfect fit. I really like the length. I did a folded hem here. I folded up here. I think all of the hems are folded. I love it. I love this. So this really kick-started me feeling confident enough to do other patterns and branch out a little bit. So I love this. I think this one is great. I haven't been rating these, so I won't, but I love this one. This is one of my favorite things that I made this year, and I'm just so proud of it. Next up is I haven't made one of these before, and I feel so incredibly awkward doing it. Next up, also in May, I did a bunch of stuff in May. This is the Outline Tank by Jessie Made Designs. I made this in a cotton yarn I got on super clearance from Hobbii. So it's like a black and white, it's like 2 strands held together, black and white. So it looks like static. So this is my static shirt. I am also very proud of this one. This one has this really fun design, this drop stitch design, like down the center and also down the back there. It's hard to see. I think this is super cute. It's a little bit, like maybe a little bit wide on me. Maybe these straps are like a little bit wide, but I do think it's cute and it's very comfortable. It's super lightweight. Let me give you a zoom. Was that too zoomy? I like it. I like it. I forgot to say about the outline tank. Or no. I forgot to say when I was wearing the 1993 tee that I was at a fiber festival in southern Michigan and I was wearing the was I wearing it? I think I was wearing the 1993 tee and I saw Jessie May and I went up and said hi to her and I was so starstruck. I was like, I'm wearing your shirt right now. Okay, so this one. I like it. Cute. Oh man, this next one I'm mad about. This is a sad story. This is the second one. This is the Summer Racing Tank by Sarah Meisner. The Summer Racing Tank by Sarah Meisner. Sorry, no, it's not. This is the summer. Okay. This is the Summer Racing Tank by Rachel Meisner. And this is the second time I've made this exact top with the same yarn and I think the same crochet hook. And it's so cute. And the straps are too short on it. And I never like went back and made the straps longer. And I still haven't done it. And I made this in May. Oh, and it's so snug. I might be trapped in this if I put it on. So the straps are just like a single crochet chain and they're just too tight. Like I need to take them out and redo it. Because I can feel that it's like you can see it like biting into my shoulder up there. So I need to do that. And it's maybe too tight anyway. The other one I have is so cute and I wear it as a layering piece all the time in the summer. But not this one. This one is too small and the straps are too small. So this one, I haven't been rating them, but if I was, this would get it 3 out of 10. The yarn is so pretty. Like the stitches are beautiful. The yarn is gorgeous. This is in, well, it doesn't exist anymore, but this was in the hand dyed cotton KNC yarn from Joann. I loved it. I have a bunch, I have more of it and I held it double and made this. I love it. And I'm so upset that it's maybe gone forever, but there you go. I'm running through this in chronological order. I guess I never said that at the beginning. That's just what made the most sense for me since it's my first year of knitting seriously, that I could kind of show my journey and where I improved or, where I learned things. I know some other people will do this by category, but I'm doing it chronologically as best I can. Next up in June, we have my first pair of socks for the year. These are the Flower Knot socks by Laura Moretz. They're so cute. Wait, let me show you this one first. They're so cute. This was like my first cabled project as a adult knitter. So these turned out adorable. I used not sock yarn for this. I used the Loops and Threads Luxe Merino in Stormy and Raindrops. They're super warm because they are, I mean, it's 55% merino, 45 acrylic. They're very warm. They're very soft. I really like this yarn, and it's also just machine wash and dryable. Like, I will just throw these in with my regular socks, which might be a factor in what I'm about to show you next. So I made these this June, and I already have had to mend the foot on this one, which was okay because I got to have some mending practice, but also a bummer. Also a bummer. But I guess that's what happens when you don't use the correct yarn for your project, and then also you just wash it a million times because I wore these all the time. They're so cute and they're so warm. So I also, something I just remembered about this is that I learned that when a pattern says to slip one stitch, they mean slip one purlwise, even if you're doing a knit row. So the first heel flap I did, all of my knit slip stitches are twisted because I slipped them all knitwise. There you go. You have to make mistakes to get better, I guess. So that's what I learned through this project. And I got to do cables, and they're so cute, and I love these socks. I think they turned out really well, and they have been well loved already. This is the Umbria Summer Top by Cookie the Knitter. Oh, I love it. I love this top. I didn't wear it as much as I thought that I would um because it um because of the way that it is. Because of the way that it is, it just, I don't know, the back comes up so high back here, and then it like hangs so far in the front that it's like I have a hard time finding a way to wear it. And I never put buttons on it either, so whatever, it just hangs open. Imagine if it had buttons. Imagine it would look like that, but I would still like need to tuck it into high-waisted pants or something. Whatever. Okay, this is the Umbria Summer Top by Cookie the Knitter, and I made this in Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in Haze, which I think is my first time ordering yarn online specifically for a project. This is the yarn that the pattern recommends, but I'd never done that before. I've never worked with silk before. It's beautiful. It's so gorgeous. I love this. Like, I love how it feels. I love how it drapes. It's just so beautiful. Um, I don't wear it that much because of how the construction ended up being, just with how far forward it hangs in the front. So maybe I don't know, I could like tie it. It feels wrong. It feels wrong and it feels very fragile, but like if it was tied, it would kind of like I don't know. I don't know. But I do love it. I think I would like another top in this yarn, just because of how much I love the material. I think it's just amazing. I wish that I wore this more. Alas, alas, it's a sad story. Next up is the Romanticist Bandana by Meredith Campbell, which I don't have with me because I did it as part of a little buddy knit trade and have sent mine off. But here's some pictures of it. I think it's so cute. I loved it, and it was with the same yarn. I didn't hold it double. I just had it as is, and so cute. And then I also made a little scrunchie with the same yarn and sent that off too. Here's maybe a picture of it, possibly. And it was so cute. Like, it was just adorable. It was so cute to have a little trade project. Those were just two small projects that I made with the same yarn. So that's why I thought of them. I didn't put the scrunchie down here. I don't know even that I really followed a scrunchie pattern. I probably Googled easy scrunchie pattern and then didn't do what they said anyway. A lot of them, I know that the pattern I followed said use a provisional cast on, and I said, I will not be doing that. And just like seamed them together at the end. Seamed the sides together at the end. Whatever. Okay. That's that. I feel like I'm not ending these sections very well. That's for my editor to figure out. Next up is another evil project. This is the Hot Mesh Polo by Kevin Haggerty. Um, here's what it looks like. Here's what it looks like so you can admire it before I start talking about it. I think it does look pretty good. This pattern was such a nightmare for me. I don't think it was written particularly well. I really struggled with some of the stitch counts and kind of just had to go off of what I thought was best, which is really hard for a beginner struggling knitter. The lace was a little bit challenging for me. I don't know if you can see. Watch me now not be able to find any errors. Oh no, you can see there's one. The problem I was having was, and you can see those two massive ones right there. The problem I was having was if I dropped a stitch or a loop at any point in the project, I didn't know how to pick it back up. And I did my darndest. And no matter what I did, it left these like big holes in it. So it looks really grungy. I'm trying to embrace it as intentional grunge, but it was very frustrating for me while I was knitting it. And also just, I don't know, because of my proportions or the yarn that I was using, the I think what happened was the front panel ended up being longer than the back panel by the time I was supposed to join for the sleeves, like join here. And it was never worked in the round, so the whole thing was flat and I had to seam this up. It was just super frustrating. And I was sick of it the whole time and I could not wait for it to be done, which is so sad. Like that is just not how you want a knitting project to go. I've worn it a few times. I think it had too much bad bad energy associated with it for a while. But maybe in the summer I'll wear it more. I do think it's cute over like a black bra or something. I don't know. Not particularly with the top I'm wearing right now, but you know, in the perfect world, I can imagine a way to style this where I would feel okay with it. I do love the polo design of it. This yarn is really fun. This yarn is Alga by Araucania. Araucania yarns. It's 65 cotton, 23 rayon from bamboo, and 12% sea cell. And then I did a bunch of research about sea cell, which is a fiber made from seaweed. Well, I believe the seaweed is actually an algae that it's harvested off the coast of Iceland or something. But I was trying to do a lot of research into whether or not it was as renewable a source as sea cell claims it is. It was a little bit hard to find that out. But I thought that was fun, like seaweed yarn. That was kind of how they were marketing it, like, oh, yarn made from the ocean. It does feel amazing. It was very slippery and very splitty, like the yarn was constantly splitting, which added to the frustration of the entire project. But whatever, it's behind me, and it's behind me, and that's the biggest plus of this shirt. Here is another pair of socks. These are the Comfort Core sock set by Summer Lee. I also used a weird yarn for this one. It is a sock yarn. It's Universal Yarn Bamboo Pop Sock in the colorway Cottage. This is how it ended up working up. And actually the ball split perfectly so that my socks match with this crazy variegation. So that was so fun. I really liked that happened. These took me about 4,000 million years to do. This part up here is all 2x2. Like, look how long that is. I didn't even do it as long as the pattern said to. All 2x2 rib that whole time. That took me like 6 hours in itself. And I think it was, you're doing it on like a size 0 or size 1 needle, and the yarn is tiny and the yarn is slippery. And it took forever. I don't know that I'll make this pattern again. That being said, I do love these socks. I wear them as often as I can. They're really comfortable. I was worried that the bamboo part would make them really slippery on hard floors, but I don't find that to be the case. Um, I love them. They do stretch out a lot when I wear them, but then when I wash them, they shrink right back up. So that's also nice. I also, these were the first socks that I used that I had my mini circulars. I bought mini circulars for my birthday, and these were, this was the first project that I used them on. And it was quite the learning experience at first. Like my hands were cramping, and the way that the needles were pressing into my fingers was giving me bruises, but I persevered and now I use them all the time for socks and I'm obsessed with them. So I know they're not for everybody, but I love my mini circulars. I love them. I have the interchangeable set and I've made so many socks with them. I love them so much. So I love these socks. These are these are so great. They're so great. They're like athletic socks. So I don't know if you can see, but this center part here is supposed to be like squinched up, like arch support. I don't really find that it does that, but it's fun. Something different in a sock. Oh, by the way, the Umbria top, the bandana, the polo, and these socks were all in August. And now I'm moving on to September. September, I went to my first Fiber Festival. Wait, was it my first Fiber Festival? September? It, yes? No, maybe I went in August. It doesn't matter. I went to my first Fiber Festival at some point this summer. I think my first one was in August. And I bought a little set of minis from the Fiber Seed, and I bought in these two colors. And the idea with the minis was that you could buy one of each and make a pair of socks that you swap the colors, for the other sock. They had this version and a striped version. I ended up not buying the sock pattern. This is basically Parasocks by Lindsay English. But I ended up looking at the picture and just casting on what I thought would be appropriate. And then I think I did a German short row heel for the first time for the heel. And I love these. I wouldn't make ankle socks again. Like hand knit ankle socks just don't have the elasticity that I want in a sock. But they're cute. They're cute. I got to learn some new things. I got to like self draft a sock, I guess is what I did. And it was a fun experience and I love the colors. I like obsessed with this yarn. They're so good. The only reason I don't wear them that often is because they are ankle socks and they just are not as snug on my feet as I want. But they are cute. They are so cute and I love that they have I love this type of thing where you like flip the colors for the second sock. I think that's just great. I love it so much. Next up is Baby's First Colorwork socks. I just love colorwork, and these were my first socks that I made with all over colorwork. This is from the Fisher Folks Fancy Sock Set by Stone Knits. I'm pretty sure these are called the sardine socks or something, sardine, something, something. Um, the yarn I'm using was yarn that I bought at a fiber festival, so that was really fun too. It's from Copper Centaur Studios, and I love it. I love it. I bought that yarn specifically for these patterns, and I truly love them so much. Like I will wear these all the time. I think these are my best fitting socks. Um, I just love them. I love them so, so, so much. They turned out so cute. I love them. This was also, I did a short row heel on this one, but I did it bad. Both of these, the heel is bad. I don't know why. I think on the first one I did, which I believe was the pink one, I did the heel 3 or 4 times and I could not get it right, so I gave it up. The back part of it is longer than the front part of it. What? How? I don't know. I've gotten better at heels since then, but you got to be bad to be good. First, you got to be bad if you want to be good. So, those are my fish socks. I am in love with them. Possibly my favorite socks. They were definitely my favorite socks at this point of the year. And I love this pattern. This pattern was so fun to work. It was a great way to practice color work. I haven't mentioned this, but I did have a color work horror story in December of 24. I made some socks for my brother, and those were my very first color work project, technically, but I didn't know what I was doing, and my tension was so tight that they do not fit. So these were my redemption socks. Next up are also a favorite sock that I've done this year. These are the Laid Edges socks by Kelly McPherson. Um, this was supposed to be a DK weight sock. I made this on fingering weight yarn with just made this biggest size on fingering weight yarn, and they fit me great. Like they're maybe a little small, but I like a snug sock, so I'm not worried about that. Um, there's just a little cable detail down the side. I love these. I will also wear these as often as I can. They fit really well. They're super comfy. I bought this yarn. This is Refined by Cascade in Rainforest yarn in Rainforest. And I bought this for a shirt that I was crocheting, and it ended up working up kind of scratchy, and then I didn't know what to do with the rest of the yarn that I had. I like bought too much of it. I didn't know what to do with the rest of it. And so it's just kind of been sitting in my stash. And then I went to a knit night and somebody there was working with the most beautiful like copper yarn. And I asked her what yarn it was. And she said it was this yarn. And I said, I have that at home and I've been scared to use it. How does it feel on socks? And she said that it was great and she loves it. And so I said, bet I will try it out on these socks. And they're great for socks. It works out so well. It does have its let's see. The blend is 75% merino and 20% nylon, so it is kind of like sock blend and 5% rayon, which is interesting. Oh, I think this was also my first twisted rib, which was fun and so tidy to do. It takes me like twice as long to do twisted rib than normal rib. So, even though it looks so good, I never want to do it. But I do really like how it turned out, and I think it looks great on these socks. That was all September. All of those were September. Now, October. In October, I got to do my first test knit ever, pattern test ever, for Fox and Fleece. I saw that they had these pickle socks, these pickle socks to test. And I was like, please let me test your pickle socks. So I made these. This was a little bit more challenging for me. I also went to a fiber festival in September and specifically bought yarn to make these. I wanted a brine color and a pickle color. And I really like how they turned out. They're a little bit big. Somehow they're a little bit big and my color work's a little loose. I felt like after the fish socks, those went so well. I felt like I've cracked the code on color work. I have not, but it's okay. They fit me. They're just a little bit big, which is okay. I guess I'd rather them be a little big than too small. Um, but here's what went wrong with a with the pickle barrel socks. These are the pickle barrel socks by Fox and Fleece. And the yarn is the Squish sock blend by Fiberology Dye Works. So, okay, which one's the first one I did? This is the first one I did, and it went perfectly. I followed the pattern. Everything was amazing. Nothing can go wrong. I did the charting correctly. So it says pickle, pickle, and then I got it through my little peanut brain that so the thing that I had an issue with was on the upside down of your sock. If you had your feet up on the couch, pickle would read upside down. Like it would read like this. And I thought, I want it to say pickle right side up. Like I want to look down and it says, well, I want people to look at my feet and it says pickle. And then if my feet are up, I want it to say pickle. So I thought I'm going to rechart the word pickle so that it is right side up if your feet are up. That was my idea. I knit the entire sock and I got through the toe part. I did the words on the toe. And wait, I don't want to spoil it. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is what you work this way too. So this is what I was looking at. And I literally got to this part and I was like, "Oh, great. It says pickle. That's awesome." And let's just compare to the other one that I have. And then I was looking at those two P's and I suddenly realized that something was not right. And then I flipped, wait, which one is it? I I flipped this one around and guess what? That does not say pickle. That says bickle. I have when I recharted it upside down, I messed up the P and now the P is a B and now I have bickle socks. There's a clip of me discovering that I'd done this. And then these should be the same, where they both say pickle, but I also hear guys, it says, how did that that says Bickle. I did keep it. I messaged the designer and said, hey, I messed up. I have Bickle socks. I'm gonna keep them as Bickle socks, but I did do one sock perfectly, so you know I can read and like follow the pattern, and the pattern works. I just also went and made my own mistake that says Bickle socks. So I have pickle and Bickle socks. They still make me laugh, and I love them. I do really like them. And they say Bickle. Two things are true. That's all I have for October. I guess I spent all my October making Bickle socks. Then in November, very appropriately, I made these Mothman socks by Emma Manos. And oh my goodness, are these just, they're so cute. They're so cute. I'm obsessed with them. Look at these guys. Are you kidding me? These are too big for me. For some reason, I made a size large. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I did that. So they're a little bit big. If I did it again, I would not make a size large. I don't know why I did that. I also had some issues with color work. Like this is the same thing where the sock is too big, but I'm getting some puckering. Like my color work is too loose. I don't really understand because shocker of shockers, I'm not an expert after a few a few dipping my toes into doing color work. Incredible. But I did some duplicate stitch for the first time for the little Mothman eyes. They are cute. They would probably be better as a like layering sock for me just because they're a little bit big. Um, what can you do? You can't be perfect every time. So those are my Mothman socks for November. Was I wearing glasses at the start of this video and then I took them off and never put them back on? That would be very me. Inconsistencies abound. This is the clay sweater by Ozetta. Oh my goodness, this was my white whale of last year. I don't know why, I've never made a sweater, and I was so intimidated by this. I made this in Baby Alpaca, Baby Alpaca Worsted Solids by Plymouth Yarn. Never used Plymouth Yarn before, and now I've used them for so many projects. Um, it's a little bit itchy. The alpaca is a little bit itchy, so I typically only wear this with a long sleeve shirt underneath it. But I am really proud of how it turned out. It took me maybe like 6 weeks to make it, 8 weeks to make it. Something I love is this detail. It goes like down the sleeve and down the side. Let me give you a look. Wait, I also want to show you the back detail, the shoulder detail. Ah, ugh, I love it. I love it. The only thing that is a little bit annoying to me about it is that I cast off just a little bit too tight. Like I binded off, binded, bound off a little bit too tight. So I feel like it kind of like sits a little bit weird on me. So maybe if I'm feeling extremely adventurous one day, I will go through and pick it out and redo it. Italian bind off, pick out the Italian bind off and redo it. That sounds like hell, but if it bothers me enough, like I think it would be worth it to have a sweater that I really enjoy. The pattern also calls for a very high neck, but because the yarn is a little bit itchy for me, I ended up doing like a lower folded collar. Uh, love it, love it, I love it. I love this color also. I just like this is a perfect color for me. I love it so much. This is one of my favorite things. How many times can I say that about all my projects? That they're all my favorite things from 2025. Well, I did find my glasses. They were on top of the slippers. Okay. These are the sailor slippers by Annie Sews. I made these 3 times. These are the ones first that I made for me. I made these with let's see. I made these with Plymouth yarn Galway worsted held double. Um, I love these so much. I love them so much. They're an easy knit. They worked up really quickly. I was sick when I made these and I made them in 24 hours. Um, I love them. I love them. They were kind of scary to felt because you make them huge and then you felt them down to size, but I love them so much. I love them so much. I could probably shrink them a little bit more, but I wear them like this all the time and I like have I said that I love them? I really like them. I really like them. I like them so much that I made a pair for my husband. These are his next to mine. And then I also made one for my sister, a pair for my sister. So three of them in 1 year. Um, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy these ones. They're super cozy. They're nice and warm. Felting is fun. It's fun to make something large and have it shrink down to size. I just had a blast doing that. I thought it was great. Oh my gosh, my door's open. Consistency. Hello. All right, so that was the last thing I made in November were the 3 pairs of sailor slippers. Okay, we're at the end. We're in December. This is how I wrapped up my 2025. I made the Bi-Stripe Beanie by James N. Watts. Um, this is so fun. This yarn is a really fun story because I went to a natural natural dye class, and we dyed 20 different shades of yarn with things that you can forage for in Michigan. It was so cute. So that's all of this. All of the striping is dyed yarn, and then I didn't have enough, so I went to get some. This is a Cascade. This is Cascade Heritage, I think. Did I write that down? Yeah, this is Cascade Heritage just at the bottom to fill it out. Um, I love it. Oh, and now that my hair's short, it just like really fits. Now that my hair's short, it just really fits the way that I wanted it to all along. I really like it. And yeah, no, it's adorable. It's adorable. So this was great. Is there anything else I need to say about this? It's awesome. I think it's really cool that I was able to use these colors in a way that can show them off. That was what I was concerned about um was that I wouldn't be able to make something that I would wear to show off, that I would have enough yarn for because I only had 160 yards of yarn, which is not very much and not enough for the brim. But I'm really really pleased with how this turned out and I really like it. I'm really proud of it. This was 1 by 1 corrugated rib, which I had never done before. It took me about a million years to do. It took so long. It's just really slow because you knit in one color and you purl in the other color, and switching back and forth like that took for a long time. Took a long time, but it's okay. Labor of love, and it's beautiful. I love it. Now, since we're at the end of the year, I was just doing a bunch of like little projects. Ooh. I was just doing a bunch of little projects. I did my first double knit project. I had seen this pattern that I really wanted to do double knit, so I made this just as a little test. This is the double knit snowflake coaster by Shelley Winiger, and I man, I made this in Hobie cotton, Hobie 84 solids cotton. So it feels really nice. I don't know that it's like dense enough to be a hot pad, and I don't know if I would use it as a washcloth. But it is cute, and I am very proud that I learned a new technique at the end of the year. So there you go, a little thing. Then I made this teddy bear for my niece. I don't have it anymore because it was a Christmas gift. This was my first creature that I made. It was this little bear. It was so cute. It was also a struggle because I knit it on like fingering weight sock yarn that I had left over. And it was just so tiny. The whole thing was so tiny, but I think it turned out really, really well. And was also a great like last minute new technique. I'm gonna learn how to make a little creature for Christmas. And I'm really proud of how it turned out. I think it was very cute, and I think the recipient really liked it, which is also just makes you feel good. I also made one of these little trees. This is Christmas Woods by Drops. I also made this just on scrap yarn that I had, a little Christmas tree ornament. It was initially in a pattern that was a Christmas tree garland, but I didn't want to make that many of them. So I just made the one. And then I thought, is it weird to hang a tree on your tree? And I actually never hung it up, but it's probably cute. I could like put the year on it and keep it forever. So I made that. These are just a bunch of little tiny things that I did. And then the last thing I made were these these little sock ornaments. These are called Tiny Tree Socks by Summer Lee. Um, I did not add little loops to them, so they are not ornaments. They are just, at this point, just tiny, tiny socks with scraps that I had. The idea is you make them into ornaments, but I didn't do that, so they're just socks. And I think too small for any baby foot ever. Um, but I thought that was cute. It was a cool way to use up little scraps. I had this really ambitious idea of um making a tiny version of every sock that I've knit, which would be ridiculous, but possibly cute. Just my whole tree next year is socks that I've knit, like mini versions of it. Do you think that would be adorable and cute? That's it. I think that's everything I made. In well, I have one more thing. Should I show you the one more thing? It's not technically done, which is why I didn't really want to bring it up, but I will. I crocheted this snake, the temperature snake, sort of. During my live streams, I like to have a project to work on every time somebody raids in. So what I did was every time somebody raided, I had them pick a color for this is Snathan. I had to pick a color for a crochet raid snake Snathan, and then I would add that to his body. So this is all of 2025 streams represented on a crochet snake. So I do feel like I should mention him because I worked on him so much. I just have to finish his tail and then he's done. But this was cool. I feel very proud of this project and also what this project represents. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching everything that I made in 2025. I'm so excited to make more things in 2026 and expand my skill set and just have fun. Like, that's a priority. You have two priorities, having fun and also expanding my skill set. That's always something that's very fun for me to push my limits and learn new things. So I am excited. Thank you for watching. Leave me a comment. Wow, should I ask for this at the very end of the video? Comment on your uh comment on which sock you like the best. Do you like blue, weird, speckly, or stripy the most? Okay. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.